Ladies and gentlemen, people of suffering all around the Outriders community, man, I don't know. Community's real pissed about them nerfing things, as they should be, because it's a fucking it's like a co-op game. What is happening? Anyways, this is a weapon that is incredibly good. It is going to be a weapon that it is baffling how good it is. It takes you barely being able to survive and you one-shotting people effortlessly. I will say, quick out of the gate, if you have not pre-ordered the game or got this special like pre-order weapon pack that came with pre-ordering the game, then you unfortunately will not be able to get it, but you can still get it. I think it's $6 or something like that, the special beginner weapon starter pack. It still is available for you to buy on Steam and I think PS4 as well, but it's the pack, it's specifically this weapon pack that you'll see. I'll show you the weapons. You can just look at the market, see where it is, get it, and then be done with it if you want to do that. I don't believe it costs too much money, and yes. But again, if people are like, no, I don't want to do that, then you absolutely don't have to do it. But if you if you did pre-order the game because you were excited for Outriders like myself, then hey, there's some method to the madness of the hype and etc. So this is essentially how you get this weapon, and it's really interesting the way that it actually works. It's also a little fucky in the way that you have to do it. So first things first, when you jump into Outriders with a brand new character or an existing character, you can go to your inbox, and that is where the devs have sent your special gear that they sent you. This is that cool gear that you just bought. Neat. So with that information, every single time you have a new character, you get a brand new set of these weapons because it's a new character, a new beginning. Here's that bonus that you basically paid for in a weird way. So we're just going to do that. We're going to make a new character or take existing new characters. I will say you probably only need like 3 or 4 copies of this weapon. So if you have 4 characters, you did Technomancer, Trickster, Devastator, and Pyromancer. If you did that in the beta or whatever, you have those characters. All you need to do is go to those characters, log in, join the game, go to your stash, open your stash, go to the inbox setting, find that the burst assault rifle with cluster bombs attached to it. It's the one that I'm currently have equipped. The Earthbound assault rifle, you're going to find that, you're going to click it. It's always going to have critical damage, status power, long range damage, and bone shrapnel. It's always going to have those stats, and that's also one of the reasons why it's so godly, is because its base stats are just amazing. But that's not what makes it absolutely broken. And that's why we're going to need around 4 of these. So you're going to want to log on to all your accounts, take the weapon from the inbox, and take it, then go to your backpack, and then send it into your stash. You're going to put it in your stash, and then you're going to have accrued, hopefully, a couple of them. So you guys can see I have a couple right here. Boom, boom, boom. So now you're going to want to go into a character that has resources. It could be any of the characters you're playing. It could be probably your main would probably be best. So now you're going to pick up all of the special assault rifles, the Earthbound assault rifles. Then you're going to take them to this man, and then you're going to roll them. Specifically, there is something that you're going to be looking for. If we go ahead and go into some of the ones I still have in my inventory, this right here, this is one I did. It's going to normally be here. It's going to be on the standard edition. Now you're going to upgrade it to the tactical variant, and that will change your firepower number right here. Now, on the high end, a really good Earthbound thing is around 160. A low one is like 300. That's it, 300 or like 298 or something like that. That's bad. That's bad. You want to try to get as close as you possibly can to like 360 to 370 high when you switch it to tactical. So you're going to, this is the base one, you're going to switch it to tactical, and if it becomes like, again, 367, something like that, that's great. So if you guys look at the one that I'm using, I already did this many times. Mine, you can't see, but because I leveled it up already, it's like 10k. But yes, by leveling it up to the tactical variant, I got around 167 or something like that, 163 maybe. But regardless, when you do that, the reason why you want that number to be high is because when you scale it up to when you level it up, the rarity up, that will increase it by that percentage. So if you have a really good one, then at the end it will be really good. But if you have a really bad one, then you level it up, it's going to be lesser than what it could have been. So don't do that. Now you can maybe be like, but GRINN, I don't want to keep making I don't want to have like 80 of these assault rifles in my inventory. So that's why I suggest only doing this 4 times. Basically, have 4 of these assault rifles lined up in your inventory, and then what you're going to do is you're going to basically just run through them. Do this. It's going to be on standard. Switch it to tactical. If this number doesn't become higher than, let's say, 350, 360, then just say it's trash. Move on to the next one. Boom. Swap. It's still trash. I got 320 here by moving it there. Not good enough. Okay, perfect. We're going to go down again. Swap this. I would hit tactical, and that would change this number. And if I happen to get like 360 or something, 363 or 367, whatever it could be, then that's when I'd be like, okay, good, now I can stop. But say you go through all 4 and you still have not gotten anything, you're going to want to basically go to your task manager, and if you're playing on PC, and close it. If you're playing on console, back out of the game with the PS4 dashboard and close the game. You're gonna have to re-instance, but basically this will not save any of the progress of your tactical things, or at least it does on PC. I don't know how vicious the save cycling would be on PS4 or Xbox. I don't think it would be more than it is on PS4 or than it is on PC. But yes, essentially you're gonna want to close the game after you've quickly switched all of them to tactical and have paid attention to if the number is high enough. And if it's not, you're just gonna close the game because that will reset your progress. It will reset you to a point in which you didn't level up those weapons because you didn't back out of the game, and that would say, hey, are you going to leave? Then we'll save. You don't want it to save. That's why you're closing it. And there doesn't seem to be any drop off for them for that. If you close the game, it doesn't seem like the game breaks or anything like that. Or at least I haven't had that happen, and I haven't heard people have that happen either. Now that you hopefully eventually you rinse and repeat it, you log back in, you have your fresh template of weapons. You're going to keep moving them to tactical and seeing if that number gets higher. And if it gets to 360, then boom, I would say if you get 1 to 360, you can stop. If you want to get more, then yeah, you can have one on every character, and you can do this as many times as you want, because you can make infinitely new characters and can have infinite access to the Earthbound starter weapon packs, which these will always be there. Cool. So now that you have an access to a weapon that has amazing substats, not only that, but it has an amazing 2-star mod, which is essentially bone shrapnel. It scales so perfectly. Whenever you get a kill, it does mass AoE damage, but it also inflicts a bleed on enemies. This is great, like crazy good. Okay, good. Not only that, but burst rifles in general are kind of broken, and in fact this is one of those things I think that are so broken, and knowing how they feel about things that are remotely strong in this game, even though the end game is a fucking masochist wet dream, they're probably going to patch this, which is a nightmare, but get it while you can. It's also a pretty fast and easy thing to do. You can do it literally in 5 minutes and just get like one of the best weapons in the game. Yeah. Anyways, but it also has critical damage, status power, long range damage. All of these are so good, like so good. You can put any other mod on this, so you already have a very good two-star mod. And again, this is good because you kill things with this weapon fast. So a kill skill weapon is great, or a kill skill mod is fantastic. I would highly suggest not removing bone shrapnel. You can if you want, but I would suggest against it. Put anything in the 3rd slot that would gain you power. For me, I lucked out and I got the ones that people are using at endgame, which is Kill Spree. It's a legendary weapon. Essentially, every single time you get a kill, it massively amplifies your weapon damage, and it can stack up to 3 times, which is an incredible amount of weapon damage. So, yeah, Kill Spree can also help with that. So you shoot an enemy in a group of enemies, bomb goes off, everyone drops dead. Now you have max stacks of Kill Spree. You can just shred people. That's kind of the mentality behind that one, but you can also throw anything in there. Now, by the way, I didn't mention the actual, like if someone's super confused. So you have a blue tier weapon, if you don't know anything about modding and you're just trying to get a leg up on anything. So you have one of these weapons, you have a blue. What you're going to want to do is level this thing up. Never improve the rarity of a weapon before you've leveled it up. So if I'm like, oh, this blue assault rifle is really nice, I would make sure it's max level before I improve it, because if you don't do that, or in order to level up purples, it costs titanium. And if I were to level up a blue, such as this weapon, it costs iron, which is super cheap. Yeah, so and titanium is somewhat rare. So you, at least when you're in the beginning of the game. So yeah, I would highly advise doing it that way. So after you're done leveling up, then you're going to want to improve the rarity, and you'll get a choice between secondary mods. Choose whichever one you want. The one that you probably should be replacing is the second one that you'll get. So again, the process is try to get one with a decent amount of firepower, around 360 if you can. You're going to be doing that by swapping the variant to tactical. If you don't get lucky and all of them have really bad firepower, like around 350 and down, then say fuck it, close the game. Hopefully it doesn't save any of your progress. I did it and it didn't. Then I just re-rolled. It didn't again. I closed the game. I did it a 3rd time, and by that time I got one that was around 367, which was good enough for me. And then I have a tactical, so I basically have a good one at this point. So then I leveled it all the way up, spend as much points as you're going to want to, as much as you have in order to get it to your current level. If you don't have enough points, then you might have to take the titanium hit when you eventually improve the rarity. Then you're going to want to improve the rarity. Bang, increase it to purple tier, and then you have a great weapon, and then you could replace the mod, whichever one you want, to put a tier 3 mod on there. But yeah, that's the crazy method to the madness of getting one of the most broken weapons in the game. Let us go forth and showcase the weapon on a build that shouldn't be able to utilize it at all. I'm only rocking some skill point decency. My actual my armor, I talked to you guys about this in the previous part, is a nightmare. I really wanted to make turret fun build work. It did not work at all, and turns out there's like one method that every character can be at endgame, and that's heartbreaking. Anyways, let's get into this. let's go do a quick Stargrave. This one's perfect. Yeah, let's do Stargrave. I haven't grinded up too much, so I can't like pop off in a huge way. Playing again, the weapon it scales so hard that it's just like, well, everything dies. So I'm just hanging out. And all you need, again, if I were able to have firepower on my base chest piece and stuff like that, it would be devastating. Everything would just get shredded in seconds. I'm sure you guys have been seeing that again. So right now we're only doing Expeditions 5, but I have all of my abilities do nothing for me. I have anomaly damage, status power, that's it. I don't have firepower, which is what would be best for the build that I have to play in order to be able to make any other build, because you need to be able to survive N-tier expeditions in order to be just worth a damn, which sucks. Anyways, my complaining never ends. It's a nightmare. Again, this is an elite, just getting chewed up if I were able to hit him, but I'm terrible. Also, I have the bullets that basically give me endless bullets, or I have the mod that gives me endless blighter rounds and an endless magazine as soon as I kill somebody. And again, everything's dead. Everything's dead in 2 shots. Again, if I were to have greater firepower, things would die even harder. Again, that is bone splatter, which is so good. Also, if I wanted more damage, I'd make sure I'm throwing my turret because I get damage that way. Also, because I'm playing the Technomancer, every single time we shoot or use any skill and that damages anything, we get healing. So that's why we barely die as the Trickster, because we deal so much burst damage. And yeah, we heal from every single shot, and we're doing 7,000 damage per tick, and we have 1,000 health. So it's always going to be a little nutty. 20,000 damage. Also, if you're able to get a critical shot, the insanity never ends with this build, which is kind of cool. I'm also a bit peeved that nothing else really seems like it works. Again, really wanted that other build to be able to be manageable, but it doesn't seem like it entirely is. My bitterness aside, again, if you're able to get critical shots, everything just dies. And also, I'm built for corrosion, because that's what I was also building my character for, is corrosive business and all that stuff. Maybe scrap grenade is better, just so that I can activate my weapon damage. And that's why people were using that. That makes sense. Maybe I really hope in the future that they rescale some things, so that you can like have a turret build at endgame and it not be like the stupidest, most dumb idea you could ever have. Oh, just wrecked. Forget that one headshot. It's a mess. 7,000 damage headshot. Bang. Bang. Also, this, again, like, just with what we're doing right now, we're super optimal for every other thing. And again, even if I don't have blighter rounds equipped, we're still dealing 3,000 damage. I'm pretty sure, like, again, when I was playing the Devastator and stuff like that, we did that on a good day. And that was, like, with a lot of other skills perfectly in tangent, and that was with me having a decent amount of, well, I always was built for anomaly damage on both characters, which may not be the play. Actually, I think for the Devastator, that's the only play, because he just scales so shittily with weapon damage. But yeah. But I think that even the Devastator could use this and benefit, because it's so good. Oh, okay. We gotta worry a little bit. We gotta worry a little bit. Person snuck up on me. Snuck up on me. Yeah, okay, see. Now we're in a group again. We're okay. Boom. Every single time you enter an instance, by the way, you do need to reapply your abilities. So just take note of that. So I'm going to activate my cryo. My cryo. See this big ass enemy that you've that's wrecked your life? Dead. Instantly. Disgusts me. Alright. Also, again, just because we have terror rounds, everything is like we have crazy AoE. Also, I think most of our damage gets converted to what do you call it? Being toxic, so we just get more damage on top of our base hit, which is a little nutty. Again, the bullet rounds are incredible. Ooh, look, a big terrifying enemy. Is it? No, it's not. Disgust me. Disgust me. Anyways. By the way, guys, I'm saying that just because I have no idea. For the last like 6 weeks, however long this game's been out, it's still like a millennium. Everything's just been a blur because it's just been. I've been playing the Devastator, and I'm finally playing a character that's just like, oh, this is what endgame was supposed to be. Like, this is what scaling and in not a nightmarish way looks like. When you look at that, utter bliss. Enemies finally start coming out of the woodworks. That died. We'll melt you real quick. Well, maybe not. I'm getting thrown around like a bag of nothing. Like a bag of nothing. Killing it. Oh. If I can hit anything, that would be dope. I finally have to reload. Luckily, I have double terror rounds though, because I prepared for this day. Be real careful to regenerate my ammunition. I need to kill things in order to get a better clip, but yeah. Boom, that one's a little dicey, but we, like, again, it was never an issue of us dealing damage, it was an issue of us staying alive. That's the only thing that's a bit sketchy, which again, if I have like one tick of a weapon life leech, then we're gonna be good to go. And dead. Again, bone shrapnel will help us and save us here, and everything's dead. Everything's dead. Boom, done. Again, I really hate the way this scales, by the way. Like, in order to get legendaries or a good drop, you need to basically, like, just burn through it. Like, again, you just need to constantly be in a sprint, which is, I don't know. I get there's, like, a goofy, fun speedrunning gimmick to it, but man, I feel like it's just a bad way to, like, I don't know, it puts flaws on the game. Why the fuck? Enemies are behind me. Bone shrapnel. There we go. Even when enemies are like on top of you, smacking you in the face, they're still okay. That guy's doing whatever he's doing. Also, I love that dash ability. I know it's not going to be optimal for endgame, and I probably can't use it because you can't use anything that's not god tier in this game, or like just utterly broken. And even if it is, their game designers are like, no, you can't. How dare you? Power, I don't even know what you're talking about. I want to hit that headshot, but I can't because I'm terrible, but also I don't know why it's not popping up. Oh. Also, you do need to thin the herd. Sometimes you can melt down the boss if you happen to find his crit spot, but I don't know why I haven't been able to find it. Haha, jokes, I know. Stab it. There you go, he's dead. So yeah, finally when you find the crit spot, you just deal 13,000 damage like it's nothing. And we're about to do this with time to spare, but we're on the highest world tier, so it's not going to be crazy. But the point is that again, I absolutely shouldn't be dealing the crazy amounts of damage that I am doing. It's just that the weapon is amazing. Again, I hope I'm not saying that the game designers are like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking stop it, because it just makes no sense. It makes no. Also, just look at Borderlands. Borderlands 3 started nerfing things and everyone dipped, and then they stopped, and then everyone came back. So like, yeah, it's just silly. In a game where like it's supposed to facilitate a smarter investment and an understanding of what's important to be able to handle the end game, but yet they're like, no, none of that. It has to be awful the whole time without giving. It's like, Jesus, are you okay? You how damaged are you, my guy? Are you good? Jesus. Hi ladies and gentlemen, me here in post and or in editing. I want to run something by you guys that was said a lot back in the heyday when we were covering Borderlands 3 and we were in that community. But there is a fundamental, huge, insulting problem that comes with games that have a looter shooter / high investment endgame with nerfing. So you're going to tell your community to say, hey, legendaries are important, they give you an increased amount of power. Also, we have this cool system of modding and also leveling up blues to high-end gear, and it makes it powerful and good. I'm going to take all the investment that I've done by playing the game, taking all the materials and pumping it into a single weapon that I find good or strong or whatever. And then you're going to tell those people that maybe next week that thing that they invested in will be trash. Why would you continue to invest and play in anything that isn't really, really shitty? If that is the conscious sentiment that you're implying within the game, which is why that also fundamentally doesn't work. I digress. That's just something I thought was relevant in the Borderlands debate and relevant sure as hell here, if not more relevant. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, back to the video. But yes, again, we did 5 million damage there. But again, I will say that there's going to be characters that are going to be able to amplify this thing's damage to a greater extent. Like the Trickster has terror rounds, which I believe just adds like flat 15 bonus damage, which is crazy. But I will say I think the terror rounds on our character is a little bit better because it basically spreads out the damage, and I believe it's also like 50%. It's kind of hard to understand terror, to be honest. But enemies in a smaller radius receive toxic damage, 50% of the damage. Yeah, so I don't know if that, because I sometimes feel like when I shoot, we also get like another proc of toxin, if that makes any sense. So we get like 2 procs of toxin. We get the first initial hit, and then we get the proc of a toxic proc. So it's like 50% of the damage on top of your base damage is going to be converted to toxic damage. And again, that's just going to help because the way we invest ourselves is toxic damage will amplify its vulnerability stat and then make it even more vulnerable. If enemies are under the effect of toxin, they're under the effect of vulnerability. And when you have this one, it increases the vulnerability's effect, basically, which I think is pretty okay. Again, probably not the best build, probably not the most crazy optimal, but what I'm trying to get at is that like this weapon shouldn't do fucking anything, but it does. And it's not because it's high level, it's not because anything like that, or not exactly because of that, because especially if you look at my gear, it's anomaly damage. I got a little bit of long range damage, anomaly damage, long range damage, anomaly damage, status power, long range damage, same thing. Anomaly damage, cool. Again, we're not like firepower is the thing that makes weapons hit like a truck. We have 18k firepower. Nothing. It's fucking nothing. Alright, I just spoiled nothing. Terrible. But it looks like that's what I'm going to be investing in the future. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. I will say this does make things a lot funner because it feels like you're actually progressing in this game, which feels pretty damn good. But I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe button below me as well as 2 videos further to my right. Thank you so much. Hopefully that helped. Also, again, for people who are struggling with the game, this is, to me, what made me start to be even able to enter endgame. But I also could have just probably found another build for the Trickster and kind of build my character around that, and probably would have been okay too. So if you don't have this weapon, you're not interested in spending the money on the pack, or you didn't pre-order the game or whatever, then just invest in firepower and long range and maybe skill life leech or status power. Kind of spread that out between your armor, or you can just go firepower, long range damage, close range damage, and then just be like an incredible damage king and then be done with it. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you do enjoy the rest of your day. Subscribe buttons to my right. Thank you for your time. Also, for anyone who shared around this video, I appreciate you immensely. Thank you again, and goodbye.